Hey everybody, I'm back today with Maggie Holmes Monday. I'm going to be working with a selection of all different kinds of papers and scraps, and I have a whole pile of die cuts here from all different collections. So this layout was precipitated by the fact that I have so many random Maggie Holmes die cuts. So I took the time to go through them, pull some papers out from all different collections, and I'm going to go ahead and work with trying to use up some of the die cuts in my stash. So I'm going to start with this kind of scalloped piece of paper. I love this paper, but what I really love about it is when I go ahead and fussy cut a couple of colors of the banner pieces, and then I can use them as kind of scalloped borders on my pages. I've done this before and I just love the look of it. I filmed this video and created this layout while I was Zooming with my YouTube members. We just started doing these fun Zoom crops. We go for about 4 hours and it was so much fun. We are definitely going to be doing it again. If you're not a member and you're interested in knowing about all the perks you can get by being a member of my channel, including Zoom crops, I will leave a link in the description box below. You do have to have a Google account, a Google email, to be able to sign up, and it works on phones. Like, you'll receive everything through your email, and then it works the best if you watch on a phone or a laptop, but I watch on my tablet all the time without a problem, so you can figure that out and be fine with that too. I am just going to go through all these scraps of paper now. I chose from my Maggie Holmes Iris container some scraps that matched my what I was working with. So I really wanted to use this kind of aqua pink, mustardy yellow color. So once I knew that those were kind of the colors I was going with, I went ahead and grabbed a couple more scraps of pattern paper and then also some wood grain just to add a bit of warmth. My photo is black and white, so it does not matter what colors I use on this. And what's really great is this is not at all like a flowery layout. It's about me and how I sit down, curl up on my chair in our living room to read or study or do anything like that, and I bring some milk bones down with me and I put them like behind me or beside me or up high where the dogs can't get them. And once I sit in my chair, my dogs, including my sister's dogs, not just my dogs but my sister's dogs too, they all if my sister's dogs are at my house, they all come and like crowd around me and they sit carefully, super carefully, sit and wait for milk bones. So now I'm taking these scraps of paper and I'm cutting them into like 2 by 3 or somewhere around there. They're not squares, they're rectangles, so the smallest would be 2 by 3. These little blocks, and I'm just going to kind of line them up across the bottom of the page just to add a bit more pattern, a bit more interest. And then I'm going to pull in this wood grain simply because I know I want to map my photo in the wood grain, so I want to make sure that it appears somewhere else on my page, not just as a mat around my photo. Add a little bit of vintage photo distress oxide ink just to kind of make those edges contrast a little bit more off of the background. And then I do end up with a little bit of a gap here at the end. I didn't cut the wood grain one as long as I probably should have, but I don't care and I'm totally fine with it. And we're going to fill in that area of the layout anyway. Mistakes are an opportunity to embellish. So we're just going to embellish that little corner there and you won't even know in the finished layout. I wanted to add a bit more dimension to this little like scallopy border. So what I did was I grabbed some tabby dots from Spiegel Bond Scraps. I'm just going to pop them up. I love that nice little shadowed area it creates. And I didn't do, you can see I left some towards the end alone. I did that because I knew my photo was going to go on top of there, so there was no point to adding the dots there. Now I can go ahead and map my photo. I decided I wanted just a bit more dimensions. I'm going to go ahead and add some foam tape to the back of my photo. Now I do want to add just a little tiny bit of journaling to this, just to talk about how the magic trick to all the dogs sitting and being quiet in a semicircle around me is because I have milk bones. And I'm just going to kind of tuck that section in right there. And then I can go ahead and start working with these flowers. All the flowers. I'm going to save my journaling. I actually waited to do my journaling until later on this evening. So the journaling is in the close-ups at the end, but I didn't do the journaling on camera. So I'm just going through all these flowers and die cuts. I pulled out everything from my die cut packs that I thought I might use. My die cuts for my Maggie Holmes die cuts are all mixed up, all different. They're all mixed up. So I really just went through them all. I couldn't tell you where any of these where any of these dies came from, and since I used a lot of scrap paper, I don't really have the lines that the pattern paper I used came from either. I think that banner paper with the scallops is carousel, maybe. So I'm just going to go ahead and pick and choose a couple die cuts and flowers. I loved the addition of black and white, so I'm going to add a bit of black and white to this layout as well. I went ahead and chose kind of larger die cuts, larger flowers, because I knew that I only had one photo, didn't have a lot to write about, so I was going to have some definite areas where I could embellish with some of these larger die cuts. And you'll also notice I didn't use a lot, so I left the flowers kind of big and colorful and stuff. And then I can just go ahead here and use the tape runner and kind of get these down onto my page without any problem. Just easy. I didn't want to pop any of these up. I figured we had our photo popped up and we have those little scallop shapes popped up, and that was going to be plenty for this project. Once I had all of the flowers down, I'm just going to go ahead and trim off all of these edges. And then I decided I wanted something not paper. So I pulled I have so many flares, you guys, so many flares from Dottie About Flare. I pulled a bunch of them out. I'm going to go through them all, pick a couple that are in the right colors to match my my layout. And I found 3 right away without a problem that matched. So I'm going to go ahead and pop them into 3 of these sections just to add a little bit more dimension, a little something that's not paper to this layout. And that's where we are going to go ahead and call this one done. Thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to head over to Gwen's channel. I know she played along with me today. And I hope you all have a fabulous rest of your week. I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.